Good morning, fight fans from all over the Rio Grande Valley 956. Longevity Boxing usually covers Rio Grande Valley boxing, but we have a special segment today, a special guest. We have Valley's own, Elsa's own, Erick Lozano, aka El Travieso, currently trains in Michigan, but is on vacay. He had the time for us today. Erick, how are you feeling today, man?
I feel great. Like you said, I'm from Travieso, and I just had the privilege of going and talking to the kids, the football team where I grew up and graduated from, and that was pretty cool in itself. Being a mentor and give them a little bit of the insights of where I grew up, which was here at Travieso, and it's my old stomping grounds. So that was exciting for me to be able to have the privilege to talk to them and see my old coaches.
Travieso, where does that nickname come from?
The nickname Travieso comes from when I was training at Extreme MMA. I was training with a boxing coach, he's from Mexico, and he's a tough dude. So, and when I'm out there training, I would joke around and I guess I would mess around and do stuff I wasn't supposed to do, so I'd cause everybody to do burpees and work harder. For me, trying to be a clown with my coach, and he just doesn't accept it. But I love him. His name's Coach Jose Dumarce, and he's the one that gave me that nickname, El Travieso. Ya cálmate, Travieso, or so it stuck with me, and yeah. So now that's my fighter nickname, El Travieso.
Gotcha, man. Combat sports. How did you get into mixed martial arts?
I got into mixed martial arts because I took my son to go try Taekwondo, and there was an MMA instructor there, and he's like asking me if I was into fighting and stuff like that. And I grew up here in the valley, Rio Grande Valley, and as a younger kid, and plus I always had to defend myself, especially since I was a good athlete, and I was moved up to varsity my freshman year, and a lot of the upperclassmen didn't like it, so they would try to pick on me, pero nunca me dejaba. I never let myself get picked on. I always stood up for myself, and there was a lot of fights, whether in school or defending myself. So I've always been a scrapper, and I never go looking for a fight, but if they come looking for it, they're gonna find it with me.
Gotcha, man. You had 37 mixed martial arts fights, MMA fights. You won some titles. What are some of your memorable moments as an MMA fighter?
Well, I've already fought 8 guys in the UFC. One of my most memorable moments I would have to say when I fought Terry Martin, and ended up catching him with a flying knee. Got knockout of the night, knockout of the year for that knockout. And it was a huge fight for me, fighting the first UFC veteran, taking him on, and I was a huge underdog. Nobody expected that. But MMA is a chess game, and I've learned it the rough way. I didn't have no wrestling, as in high school here when I graduated. There was no wrestling at the time, so I had to learn wrestling through the pro rankings. I went 16-3 as an amateur, and nobody would fight me. I had 5 titles as an amateur. Started off at heavyweight, went all the way down to welterweight, and then I started fighting the best right off the rip in the pros. So.
Gotcha, man. What made you transition from MMA to Bareknuckle?
The opportunity was there. I was still fighting MMA, and then I got a call on 2 weeks notice to fight current light heavyweight champ for BKFC. His name Lorenzo Hunt. I took it. He ended up catching me in the 4th round, and first time I've ever been knocked out, and it was a learning experience. Really humbled me, because I've had plenty of knockouts. Like I said, I've had knockout of the night against Terry Martin, and I've had other knockout of the nights. Actually, this year I had a knockout of the night on one of the biggest stages for BKFC when I knocked out Francesco Ricky. And this past weekend I just had another knockout against Mike Jones. So
Gotcha, man. Yeah, and I was about to ask, you just recently had a fight, right? And now you're going to have one in February, correct?
Yes, I'm trying to get on the February 2nd card for BKFC 57. I just recently fought for BKFC 56 with some big names. We had Mike Perry and Eddie Alvarez headlining the show for the King of Violence belt. Mike Perry ended up winning that due to a injury that Eddie Alvarez suffered, but it's part of the game. Bare Knuckles is a different story. It's a different game. It's game bred as it gets, where you're in there and you're just throwing your hands. Knuckles could get broken. I mean, it's to me it's fun.
Gotcha, man. The preparation, is it different from MMA to bare knuckle for like sparring and whatnot?
Yes and no. I mean, you still have to work your butt off to get that cardio in. More for me, since I'm a stand-up fighter and have knockout power. In this case, I don't have to worry about being taken down in bare knuckles. It's boxing without gloves. So a lot of people will try to go strengthen their knuckles. I'm a little older. I'm gonna protect my knuckles and I'm gonna throw them when it's game time, when we're in the ring. And other than that, I'd rather wear my gloves and protect those knuckles. But yeah, the training and stuff is pretty much the same. You gotta have that cardio, endurance. The very first time I fought bare knuckles, I thought, I'd fight 5-minute rounds in MMA. 2 minutes isn't nothing, but I get more tired in bare knuckles than I do in MMA. It's a different ball game.
Gotcha, man. Okay, so let's rewind back a few years ago. Let's go back to your football days. Played with the Yellow Jacket, La Máquina Maria. You were part of some historical seasons, some of the best seasons of all time. 13-0 team, the only time that we went to the Alamo Dome. You were a wide receiver, and then you transitioned to quarterback your senior year under the tutelage of Joe Sandeja from West Oso. You ran the veer. Making those adjustments, did you feel like that's helped you in your fighting career?
I would say yes. It's the way it's taught me to learn how to deal with adversity. Like you said, I was a receiver my sophomore and junior year. I was an outsider as a receiver my junior year, and then they couldn't get a quarterback to give me the ball, so we went with a transition. They wanted to move me to quarterback and then run the option to where I could help the team a lot better. We only had 3 people coming back my senior year on offense, and I believe it was 3 on defense, so we weren't really predicted to do much. But me being the leader that I am and having the experience that I did, I led our team to be district champs that year, running the option. It was a learning process because we took some L's at the beginning of the season, but I got adjusted and made the right adjustments as a quarterback and the leader of the team, and we ended up winning district, and it was a good season after all.
Yeah, I remember. Any memorable moments from your football days?
Well, there's a lot. Like you said, I played on some of the best teams. I was able to play in the Alamo Dome. I think I played a whole season in the playoffs. We played 4 deep my freshman year. Sophomore year we played another 4 deep, and then 3, and then my senior year we played 2 deep. So yeah, I played a whole other season in the playoffs, and man, I miss those days and love those days. Ended up getting a full ride to Texas A&M and shattered my ankle then. Right after that I went to Michigan.
Gotcha, man. The last few years have been some tough ones for the Ed Chelsea Yellow Jackets. We actually did the math not too long ago, and maybe give or take a game, they're 31-40 in their last few seasons. What advice do you give to the football players that are watching this?
It's like I just talked to the football team, just about an hour ago, and I let them know that it's what you put in. The work you put in is what's going to make, and the season's won here in the off season. You put in the hard work here in the off season, while everybody else is over there on TikTok, on social media, doing their own things. Imagine, I know there's always like 2 or 3 students or 2 or 3 athletes that are there putting in the hard work, and I was just letting them know that as long as imagine if they did it as a squad, as a team, and they'd be a force to be reckoned with, because it's hard to get a unit to do that. And if we were to have that, I'm sure they would stand out, because those players that do work out and train their butt off on their own, they end up standing out, and it pays off. Imagine we could get the whole team to do that, and it's what you put in, it's what you're going to get out of it.
Right, man, right on. Where can people follow you on social media?
They can follow me on Facebook. I'm under Erick as Travieso Lozano. I got an Instagram as well, and those are, I don't have TikTok. I'm a little too old for that, but yeah, you could get me on Instagram and Facebook.
Any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
I would like to throw a shout out to my team that's out in Michigan, my coaches. I got another teammate that's doing BKFC too. His name is Esteban Rodriguez, aka Mohawk. He just fought under the same card that I fought, and we're looking to get some training together. I'm actually looking to get a BKFC tryout out there in Michigan. I haven't had one out there yet, so yeah, it's in the works. And just wanted to throw a shout out to all my sponsors that have helped me, and all my friends and family, coaches who have been a mentor or helped me in the past. I'm here because of you guys.
One more question, man. Why keep doing this? What motivates you to keep grinding?
For me is to show that when I started fighting, it was to show my kids that at my age, that as long as you work hard, still fighting in top competition in the world. I just fought former champion Francisco Ricky, and I was able to knock him out. I just fought a 27-year-old in BKFC 56, his last fight this past weekend, and I was able to knock him out. I'm fighting with the best in their prime, and as long as I keep on working and busting my butt off, hard work always pays off. It's just a grind, and showing my kids that I'm setting the bar high for them to know that you can get there as long as you put in the work for it.
Gotcha. Erick, thank you so much for your time, man.
Yes, sir.